Daddy, how many days of the year would you say you were a brat?
I am not a brat.
360, 365.
No, I'm not a brat.
Okay, but what's your favorite song on the new Charlie XCX album?
I don't even know who Charlie XCX is.
You didn't just fall out of a coconut tree.
You can lick my coconuts.
Girl, you're so confusing. Roll the opening. Hello, and welcome back to
What's the safe word?
I'm Amp.
I'm Mr. Christopher.
And today,
he's being bratty.
hashtag Brat Summer.
Bratty.
If I say Von Dutch, what do you think?
Von Dutch? I feel like a sandwich? Crunch? Who's Von Dutch?
And today we're going to be acting out some of our favorite brat scenarios by talking about bratting. Now, it is something that is sometimes stigmatized, sometimes misconstrued, and sometimes confused for people just being bullies. But I think the real crux of the position is it does rely on heavy communication, and we're communicating with you guys today by asking you guys what you want to know about brats.
So on Twitter, we asked you for all your brat questions.
And you guys did not disappoint. But of course, we cannot do today's episode without our lovely sponsor, VIIA HEMP, giving you all the greens and greenery that you need to get elevated.
And VIIA is vital for dealing with brats.
I agree. I agree.
See, we agree on something?
We do.
Wow.
Turns out brats can come in all shapes and forms. Hey.
And our first question today comes from Pup Axel, who says, "What is a brat?"
You are. What? Okay. No, put it on damn, not on me.
What?
Sorry, what I meant to say was, you are maybe. Daddy, what do you think a brat is?
Brats are these annoying... They're argumentative, they're needy, they're argumentative. They're obnoxious.
You've had some really bad experiences with a brat.
Who has a good experience with a brat? They call them brats for a reason.
Let's unpack that.
In other words, a brat is someone who likes to push buttons and break rules.
Specifically with their dom, caregiver, handler, or trainer, depending on however you identify with that top, with the express goal of creating a power imbalance with the person that they're bratting with. And I say create a power imbalance because it's not that they're giving up control or trying to take back control, but more so create a very distinct power imbalance with the person who's trying to control them.
Who has more power?
I think everyone has power in these situations.
What is power?
I think that's why I don't like brats, because they push back when I'm trying to control them.
And I think we're gonna unpack that today, and I'd love to try to sway your opinion of brats by telling you why people are into it, and maybe where some brats that you've had in the past might have bratted a little too close to the sun. But the origin of the term and etymology actually comes from Britain, when British military children and wives were once called British regime attached travelers, or brats. The children were also referred to as barrack rats, which might have also shortened to brats. And in the BDSM realm, the term brat was used in the culture for a few decades and believed to have originated around 1980s when it was initially used to describe someone who was subversive of non-compliance. Over time, the meaning of the word has evolved to encompass a broader range of personalities, behaviors, and sometimes including those who enjoy being playfully indignant rather than being outright disobedient.
So wait, it only came about in the 1980s?
Well, that's when the term gained popularity and we kind of formed what is considered bratting. Brats are often seen as badly behaved, mouthy, but it's seen as a playful way to be a submissive without being a hardcore BDSM submissive. And also, it's a lovely color. What a great color, Charlie. Why did you choose that color, I wonder?
Oh, that's easy. Because they're lime green and make the dom sour.
Next question. And the next question from Dela says, "This is a trap. I feel it." No. Why I wouldn't set a trap with asking you guys for questions, telling you not to ask them. Or how about the next question from Big Dave, who says, "You can't make me comment." Oops. Got him.
That's a brat. That's a brat. You can't make me.
Literally. So what else does a brat say?
Why?
Yeah, and?
Why?
Okay. And?
Why?
And?
Why?
Okay. Though this comment does bring up a very valid question that comes up a lot when it comes to bratting, which is, can you dominate and actually punish someone who wants to be punished?
Yes, you do it all the time in BDSM and dynamics.
True. And in bratting is a way in which you're kind of taking back power, but also being given a form of mentorship or guidance. And people do that psychologically because being rebellious and looking for attention is kind of what we all do in our daily lives in small spurts, but in bratting you can do it all at once.
Is that a good thing though?
It can be a nice way to cathartically get stuff out of your system. Yeah, that's why we do BDSM, right?
I guess so. But do you have to be a brat all the time?
I think that there are moments of brattiness, but there's also moments of having communication, making sure you're checking in, looking at boundaries, because boundaries are very important when it comes to bratting. And if you're not super clear about where those boundaries lie and what you can push in the bratting realm, that's where you get those people who are going too far and give brats a bad name.
So it's so easy to cross that line and go too far because it's actually an energy that is very exhausting for other people.
Yeah, for a top especially. I'm a top! Because you are almost doing kind of a mentor figure role, and there needs to be an on-off for some of those scenes and how you play with them. Which, as a teachable moment, the next question from Giant British Puppy says, what are some of your favorite methods of brat taming?
Impact play.
And?
Restraints.
Sure, and you do need to have restraint as a top within this kind of play. Now the top, I'm a top, or the caregiver, I hear brat taming, I hear brat handling, I hear brat chasing at times. Whatever you are and however you identify within this, you need to have patience, you need to be good at caregiving, maybe aftercare, but also good at laying down boundaries and being accountable. If you're the top in this situation and you cannot uphold the rules that you set and the punishments, or discipline that you put into place, ooh, you're in a world of hurt already.
So help me, I will turn this car around!
And the tops in bratting are generally called a brat handler or a brat tamer. And now, tamers, if we think of like, let's say a lion tamer.
Yeah, steady.
A tamer is someone who's trying to shut down bad behavior, immediately get what they want, whereas a brat handler is someone who is playing with, maybe poking back a little bit, and being a bit more playful.
But you're saying the handler has to have patience, but you're doing a kink that is pushing your patience.
Intentionally, because you've laid out, as you should in kink, what things your brat can push back on. Maybe some of the chores you're allowed to be a little bratty. Maybe you're allowed to talk back, but only in certain situations. Because as the top in this situation, if you have your brat out in public and they start bratting, people around you might be annoyed, they might not understand, and they're definitely not part of your scene, which, as we know, is not consensual.
Yeah, so stop doing it in public.
Oh, no, they're watching. they clicked on the video, that's consenting. No.
You're being a brat right now. That was not consensual.
I agree, you are. So how would you decide how to handle a brat if you had to deal with one?
Hit them.
No.
Impact play.
You would set boundaries and standards of what's okay and not okay. And you would also talk about how can I discipline or punish you if we need to do that kind of stuff.
Sure. Or hit them. Consensually, of course.
Let's give an example. Let's say you ask your brat to fold the laundry and they're going at it and maybe they only fold half the laundry or only some of the laundry. And you, as the top in this situation, would do, if you say hit them, I swear. A tamer in that situation would be a bit more direct and a bit more forceful, might not engage fully, but would stand to the side and recite what they asked you to do again. Make sure it's very clear that you should be doing this thing in a forceful manner.
Disapproving looks, I can do that.
Yeah, you're very good at that.
Yeah.
Please stop. A tamer in that instance is letting them know that they're displeased and they're withholding any play. You're not giving into that play because they're doing something they're not supposed to. Whereas a handler, if that's how you're gonna go down the route, might poke back. Might be like, well, kitten, I don't know that you're doing that right and you better do it or else we might have to change what we're doing here. And maybe they'll like tie up one of their arms and they're like, okay, continue folding, please.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and so handling's a bit more playful, it's a bit more upbeat and silly, but both are valid ways to do it so long as you have, again, negotiated those handling situations.
Or no ice cream. Or daddy cream. For you.
Well, why not both? No matter how you top in bratting though, it's all about how your dynamic works and less about what the brat is doing, but why the brat is doing it. Why are they asking for your attention? Why are they looking for you to engage?
So why do you do it?
Because!
So brats are trying to evoke a reaction.
Yes, they're evoking a reaction to create a power difference, an imbalance. They want you to take that power back and make it very clear who is in charge, which is, okay.
Hit them. Done.
Well, okay, someone's a little... But hey, maybe your partner's being a big brat and you just need to, chill out or get a little elevated to get in the right headspace to deal with them.
Which is how I'm doing this show right now.
With today's sponsor, VIIA, who's making sure we not only are getting sensual online, but also offline because they ship to you right to your door. No questions asked, discreetly, so long as you're over the proper legal age. You need to chill out after a long day of bratting?
Yes.
You do you?
Yes.
After a long day of bratting, you need to chill out?
Oh,
because
wait.
you're being a brat?
No, dealing with brats.
No, that's not what I said.
You're being a brat.
And VIIA has developed a unique blend of pleasure-enhancing cannabinoids, libido-strengthening herbs, and low doses of CBD into one mind-blowing gummy called High Love. We're talking about pairing aphrodisiac herbs with a mild amount of THC. The products have great flavors and are made with vegan and organic ingredients, and their best-selling High Love will not only heighten your senses, but will also increase your sexual pleasure in the bedroom.
They also offer a wide range of products for different experiences.
And the best part, VIIA legally ships to all 50 states in discreet packaging directly to your door. No medical card required, so if you're 21 and up, VIIA is the only lifestyle hemp brand. Whether you want to get better sleep, ease anxiety, enhance your mood, or just get a little elevated, they also have zero THC products just in case. So check out VIIA in the link down below at VIIAHemp.com, and you will get 15% off with offer code WATTS, as well as a wonderful mood.
And the best part is they're ultra yummy, and they even have products that are THC free. Don't laugh at me.
That a brat would say ultra yummy.
They are ultra yummy. They're delicious.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are.
And ultra yummy.
Thank you again, VIIA. Now on to the next question. The next one from Pup Surge just exudes brat energy that says, make me! And then continues with, for real though, brat taming with a punishment or by ignoring them? Discuss. And while those are both ways you could do it, it's a matter of trying to figure out what you would like to do. Personally, for me, I would want to break down the different ways that you talk to your sub. There is discipline, there is punishments, and then there's another word we brought up earlier, funishments. Now, disciplining is where you're teaching someone, giving them guidelines, and trying to make them better.
Like making them kneel in a pile of salt on a hardwood floor for 10 minutes.
No, that's a punishment. That is different than a disciplining.
Damn it. So close.
And a punishment, generally within bratting, is not something that the dom wants to do, and definitely not something that the sub wants either, but it is an unfortunate correction that needs to happen via correcting, where you're going to issue consequences.
Like putting icy hot on their genitals.
Okay, yeah, what?
I'm liking this more.
Or you could do my favorite, which is a funishment. Daddy, what do you think a funishment is?
It's not really a punishment. It's actually what they really wanted. So a light slap and tickle, a light spanking. Yeah, it feels like a punishment, but it doesn't really hurt and it isn't really bad.
Why are you saying it like it's such a negative? Like, no, the punishment is what people are trying to get out of bratting. It's like a punishment, but it's more fun. It's what you have negotiated because it's something you enjoy. And in your case, you like impact play.
I do, but I like to see you cry too.
You can cry. A punishment can be painful so long as it's something that's getting a rise out of both of you. And again, instilling that power dynamic difference.
Okay, fine.
This is heavily dependent on the D and the S. It's essentially pushing those rules you've talked about to the point where the dominant gets to have some fun and provide some slapping, some tickling, some putting baby in a corner, and nobody puts baby in a corner. Unless they're a brat.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Okay, so explain this punishment thing to me. What are some good punishments?
Well, let's say that you are into impact play. Maybe the punishment there is the submissive has to count. But maybe they forget the numbers and then, oh no, they get extra spankings.
Or you start over from the beginning.
Sure.
You just fell out of a coconut tree?
Or you could do some bondage with tickling, a little bit of CNC, or even like forcing someone to like look in a corner.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
And just think about what they've done as you reprimand and humiliate them verbally from behind.
Gotcha.
That's something that can turn someone on. And yes, it's a punishment, but it's fun because you want that. It leans into the kink that you're into by leaning in even further to the poking.
And it is erotic.
Yeah, it's meant to be erotic and fun. That's why fun is in the freaking title, like funishment.
Yeah, erotic punishment. It was not as good. Didn't flow.
Yeah, how do you spell that?
Erotic schmint?
Yeah.
BICTH.
But Daddy, let's say you do get worked up with a sub. Do you ever do punishments or even funishments while you are angry?
No, if I got angry, I'd walk away from the scene.
Exactly. And within bratting, I think it's really important to specifically point out that doing any of your actions under anger or duress, that can easily turn into abuse or something that's not wanted. And that is not okay within this scene. That's where bratting gets out of control and done in a really disrespectful way for both parties probably involved.
And someone could get hurt.
And we don't want that. Punishments can be whatever you've agreed upon, and there's a myriad of things you can do depending on the kinks. Some people like to do like punishment wheels. Some people like to do like rolling die to see what you're gonna choose. Some people like making chores part of the punishment because well, hell, you need something done around the house and you have a sub and they're into it, but they want to be a little like, oh, I didn't know I had to clean all the dishes. I didn't know I had to put away all the laundry. Well, I put away my laundry, but yours is still out.
Oh my God, you are a brat.
No, I'm giving examples.
No, this is our life.
No, I think you're airing your dirty laundry quite literally, but it's fine either way. Next question.
So that actually leads to our next question. Can there ever be too much bratting?
I mean, you can brat too close to the sun, yeah.
See, and then that level is that line is very low for me. So you would get to that really quickly before I'm done.
And that's okay. You're not a brat tamer or handler. You're not someone looking to tame them brats.
No.
That's fine. And this is what we might call the dark side of bratting, where brats get a little too into the play or get a little mean or disrespectful to the point where it kind of misses the point of bratting and being disciplined.
Or don't know when to stop.
Correct. So there are a number of different instances. I know that some people will actually get into a bratting situation where they are almost testing their dom because they don't trust them. And that lack of trust or even that questioning of authority might lead to a really bad place where you guys are not on the same page.
Yeah, and if you don't trust your dom, you don't want to piss them off either.
You shouldn't be bratting. Another dark bratting instance is like topping from the bottom. And topping from the bottom can be okay if it's negotiated, but if it looks like the sub is trying to actually tell the top what they're supposed to do,
Well, what you want to do is not necessarily what you're gonna do.
when they're trying to be punishments or discipline, ooh, that's not gonna end well.
So like backhanded comments, complaining, being passive aggressive.
Yeah, that's bratting that just takes it to a really bad level. And that's why it's kind of darker, because it is that area that gets into like landmine territory. You don't want to trigger someone with the way in which you're pushing back. Some people within this also get into a dark area of like thinking they need to break the brat in order to teach them a lesson. But if that's not on the table, ooh, girl.
Like beat the brat out of them.
Yeah.
Impact play.
And if you're not in impact play, as you've learned firsthand when we tried to do some impact play first off.
Oh man, does the puppy pout.
Okay, well, the puppy did not break any rules, and the tamer over here thought that it would be fun to hit and say, okay, count, and I counted, and I got the numbers right, and you still tried to change the rules and then continue to hit.
Get her, Jay.
And in that instance, we took a break, we recalibrated, and we're still... We're drawing some wedges here, and we're recalibrating, and we're getting to the next question. The next question from Ginger Dadbot says, what condiments are best for brats?
Mustard.
Condiments, more like comments. Let's course correct this one. What are some things you can say to a brat that'll get them engaged?
You think you're hurting now, wait till you see me later.
Ooh. Or how about, I gave you every chance?
This hurts me more than it hurts you.
Oh, a really good, that's it?
That's
You say
it.
that to a sub who thinks that they can, or careful what you wish for.
I've had better.
That's kind of mean. Oh my God. Oh. There's lots of ways you can, as the dom, kind of brat back a little bit, but say just a few words that really get your brat in a tizzy.
I dare you to do that again.
Exactly. And they can lean into that depending on how your play usually goes, or they can, and they've been put in their place. You have dominated and shown that power imbalance because you're the dom in that situation. The next question this is actually a very important one, and this one comes from Daddy Demi, who asks, can we talk about unconsensual bratting? I feel like I see too many brats pushing too far without even discussing it to begin with. Even had a brat take over a local education event a while back and didn't stop until they were threatened to be kicked out. Bratting still requires consent. 100%.
Agree, that was the point I made.
I know, and as the dom in this situation, it can be very frustrating if you don't have the time and the patience, or just the brat steps on a landmine. And you have to be really good about stopping, breathing, and maybe asking some really insightful questions with your throat. You good over there? Okay. To renegotiate how the scene should go. When you're first talking to your brat, what are some questions you can ask that can kind of set the stage for success?
Are you a brat?
Well, that helps, yes. Or maybe you can ask how you can earn the respect of your other party. If the brat's bratting, how do you earn their respect in a situation where they might act out? And vice versa, how do you earn the respect of your dom when you're throwing a tantrum, Like, how do you get them to connect with you?
I don't throw tantrums.
Sure. Would you like a snack? Do you want to take a little nap?
That'd be good. That'd be
Yeah?
good.
Okay, well, let's go ahead
A
and go
daddy
over
nap
here.
would be great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you could ask directly, how do you like to be put in your place when they act out?
Great negotiation tool. Maybe, what is your goal from bratting?
Why are you like this?
Close. Not quite.
What is wrong with you?
Ask them what their goals for the bratting scenes are.
Ask them, why do you want to play with me?
And especially ask what your boundaries are. What are your kinks? What do you want to get into? Because boundaries are what makes this work or not.
That's my boundary. Don't touch my boundary. Stop touching my boundary.
Not touching can't be mad. Not touching can't be mad. Let's go to the next question that can't be mad. The next question from Kai asks, ooh, what is your opinion on bratting? And is there anything specific you like or don't like about it? I love you, by the way. Oh, thanks.
Oh, thank you.
Some things I like about bratting: it's playful, it's silly at times, it leans into not only mentoring, but helping someone to become a better person.
Things I don't like about it. It's aggravating and I have very little patience.
Yeah.
Things I do like about it is it's playful and fun at times.
Agreed. Things I don't like about Brat, I might say something stupid. It's the slowest song on the album. It's not my favorite. Kind of sounds like an underwater level a little bit in like a video game. Sorry, Bratting, not the Brat album. Things I don't like, it can be a little much at times if someone doesn't know how to read the room.
If you have a bunch of brats, is that a brat pack?
Absolutely, yes. Oh my God, force your brat as punishment to sit down and watch The Breakfast Club. Because some brats would not enjoy that.
St. Elmo's Fire.
Ooh. Double D Dragon asks, what makes a brat a brat? I've seen different types and each one is different to a point. But what's typical, what's most common about things about brats? I think commonalities of brats is someone who likes to push buttons, as we've said.
Or someone who wants to be challenged in return.
Yeah, I really liked a friend of the show, Mr. Pierre, actually did a little TikTok where he outlines types of brats.
If a brat's a chef, is it Bratatouille? Come on.
I really like Mr. Pierre's take. There are meekers or meek and meager brats that like to egg you on. Not beaker. Meeker. There's also competitive brats. There's natural brats who, in and out of the bedroom, are just naturally pretty bratty and know how to, well, brat. Don't lean in. And then there's daddy brats. Or, drats. Aw, drat.
Drat. That is not a thing.
I bet we can make that a thing. Drats in the comments down below. Hashtag Brat Summer. Hashtag Drat Summer.
No. We're not doing drats.
The next question from Sam asks, what is it about bratting that some people are turned on by? I think I would rather slip on silicone lube than purposefully annoy someone.
Oh, I like them.
No. I like the sentiment of not wanting to purposefully annoy someone, which is not the point of bratting. You are annoying someone within guidelines generally, but what people really enjoy about bratting is they are allowed to break those buttons in a way in which they're forcing the DS relationship to work. Why are you glaring at me?
Who wants guidelines to be annoyed?
Brats! Brats are looking for a feedback loop within that dynamic. And within this, I really liked that the Brat community kind of talks about bratting in like a 3-step system. The first step, of course, is the acting out, the bratting. Enacting whatever scene you're going to do by poking, prodding, talking back, or just being generally bratty.
So is the second stage where the Dom beats them with the shoe that was thrown at them?
No, close. The second stage is turn of the event. Like you're turning the scene on its head, you're taking back the control where the Dom assesses the situation and
don't you dare do that again.
And turns it around on the Brat, in turn showing that they're in control and making sure that power dynamic is very clear who is the one in control. And step 3, of course, is where the Brat submits and follows suit or is punishized. And you come to a conclusion of that scene or scenes, and you're learning, you're growing, and you're
and they
Brat.
finally submit.
Correct.
Took a lot to get there, though.
And I've noticed throughout this episode, as we get to the next question, that there's a lot of reservations and pushback about some people being called brats. And so Pato the cat asks, when are you considered to be a brat? I can be bratty, but that doesn't necessarily make me a brat, right? Sure.
Sure, Jan.
Yeah, what do you have to say?
I'm not gonna say anything.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
I would say that you are actively being a brat when you are acting out and pushing back against your dom to get some sort of sexual energy.
Or when you're expressing yourself in a feisty manner.
Maybe you're adding mischief to get a rise out of someone.
Yeah, I'll get a rise out of you.
Or maybe in a more honest sense, you're looking to get mentored by someone and you just want to be a bit playful with it. Like, you are a mentor in many ways to me, and while we don't brat, I love being mentored by you. Where'd that shoe go? I have a second shoe somewhere.
I'm gonna beat you with it in a second.
Or maybe you're a brat when you use phrases like this.
Brat lightning round. Go!
Make me.
You can do better than that.
That's all?
I don't even feel it.
Prove it.
That's the worst that you can do?
Who's your mommy?
Egging your dom on to do more, harder, or prove that they're actually in control. Do you find that you align with any of those ideals?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
Like hitting you with the shoe.
Well, and of course, last but not least in this brat summer is the question from Orc, who says, is there something like a bratty dom or top? What's up? What do you, no, go ahead.
No.
Hear me out. Doms are just brats with power.
No, I don't think that's possible.
Okay, well, let me set the stage then, a hypothetical, if you will. A sub, maybe they're tied up and they're gonna do a flogging scene, says, hit me harder, as hard as you can. And the dom says,
Sweetie, I just can't do that. I would hurt you if I went full power.
and the sub says, well, prove it. And the dom would just say,
No, you haven't earned it yet.
does that not sound like a bratty energy on both sides there?
Maybe.
Case closed. So, Daddy, what did you learn today?
I think we can all agree that we've learned that you are indeed a brat.
Have you watched this entire episode?
I've been in it.
Because I think everybody has a little bit of brat energy to them. And I think bratting kind of is this subtle tone to some scenes because it adds playfulness. I think anytime there's playfulness in something like that, people get bent out of shape because they think BDSM is so rigid and so, you gotta do this and dark and brooding and BDSM.
If you're not laughing or crying, you're doing it wrong.
But I think with the rigid nature of BDSM, bratting adds a bit of playfulness to it so long as everyone's on the same page and is on board.
And I think human nature just naturally has pushback, give and pull.
Yes, it does.
So, we're all a little bratty inside.
Honestly, I agree. But I think bratting at the very heart is all about building a dynamic and being almost nurtured and given just, some nice aftercare as you're being tormented and trained and disciplined. But whether you're having a pink pony club summer or a brat summer, we want you guys to make sure that you're bratting responsibly, respectfully, and always having a safe word. And today's safe word is...
Is that all you got?
This is a long enough episode. You really need more points from me?
And if you are a brat, please definitely don't make a comment down below.
We would be very, very
No,
disappointed
you don't
in
want to
you.
do that.
Yeah,
No.
don't do that, kitten,
No.
or else you might get in trouble.
Or subscribe.
Or like.
Brats would never do that.
But even brats would check in next week for the next upload because we will see you next time and we appreciate you all bratting with us today. Bye!
Bye!
Are you even a real daddy? A real daddy would know how to put me in my place and would tie me to that bed and wouldn't be able to,
But that's what you want.
Yeah, but you couldn't do that.
Oh, I could, I'm just not going to.
Yeah, because you're tired.
Yeah, you're right.
Well, that's too bad. It might be because you're getting a little old, I guess.
Wow, okay, too far.